Okay, dear students, parents who are watching us, and all our IIHM team members, on behalf of our chairman, Dr. Subodhno Bose, and all of us directors, we're extremely happy today to arrange this very, very important session for all of you today in the times when we are going through so much of distress, a lot of stress, anxiety, and sometimes depression flowing through us. There is a lot of emotional turbulence around, and it is the utmost responsibility of students and tell them how much care we do for you and the support we always have towards you as a brand together. Very recently, students, under the brand leadership of our chairman, Dr. Subodhno Bose, the parent organization of IIHM, which is IndiSmart Global, has launched the IndiSmart Digital Health, a free online telemedicine advice by the top medical advisories of the country to protect our students, that is all of you, and the families from the COVID-19 across. This afternoon, I'm extremely blessed and thankful to have amongst us Ms. Mridula Nair, who's a co-founder and trainer, along with being a practitioner at the RedesignedThinking, which is a leading alternative healing center at Bangalore. She has successfully qualified as a counselor as well as on the number of alternative therapies like EFT and matrix imprinting, re-imprinting, bash flower remedies, NLP, and breakthrough coaching with timeline technology, and has been helping people for the last few years. She is an accredited practitioner of the Journey by Brandon Bays. She also works with leading medical professionals and is able to refer people into their care where necessary. A very, very warm welcome to you, Mridula. And before we take forward this wonderful afternoon, where I'm sure you're going to be, having a wonderful healing experience with all of us and our students here, I would like to have a few of my directors who are present here to come and welcome you as well. So I can see Samir, I can see Abdullah already, and Reena ma'am already. So I would love to have them on board to come and talk a few words on praise of Mridula. I can see Samir here. Samir, we would love to hear from you. A few words for the session.
Thank you so much, Sanchari ma'am. Welcome to the session, Ms. Nair, and welcome to the IIHM abode, a virtual abode, as I might call it. Thank you for taking this session.
Mridula, we start the session. All the best and looking forward.
Thank you. Thank you, Sanchari. Hello, everyone. And thank you, Sanchari, for inviting me. And also a big thank you to the chairman and the board of directors of IIHM. I hope you can hear me. Yes. Okay, great. Great. I really value our time together here this morning. This morning, when Sanchari asked me to talk or do a session on emotional well-being, it had me thinking about the parents and the children who are facing this very difficult time and going through this. It is really frustrating. This morning, I would like to address issues that are currently plaguing us. First, I'll start with a story. Now, long ago, if you wanted to see somebody who lifted weights, you would go to the circus or to the exhibition. But more recently, everybody goes to the gym, everybody lifts weights, and everybody knows the importance of physical fitness and taking care of the physical body. We all do it. Even I lift small weights. But what about mental and emotional wellness? Do we give it any importance? Do we even think about it? Most probably not. We don't know the value of being emotionally strong or mentally strong. We just take it in our stride. And sometimes we are able to cope, sometimes we are unable to cope, and this thing goes on. So I'm going to talk to you about EFT, or Emotional Freedom Technique. It is one of the most powerful self-help tools today. EFT is a combination of modern day psychology and acupressure. So we tap on the end points of the meridians while tuning into the emotion or to the issue that we want to tap about. Now, it looks really funny. And when I first saw it, I thought it was really, really weird. but it helps with pain management, with stress, with anxiety, with a lot of other things, including addictions and weight loss. When we tap, we send a calming signal to the amygdala, which is an almond-shaped component in the midbrain, which triggers the fight or flight response in us. Now, this response is a survival mechanism that our ancestors needed to flee or fight a wild animal. The brain cannot tell the difference between a real threat and a perceived threat. Today's stressors are different. We may have got a WhatsApp message, we may have got an email, or it may be an assignment that somebody has to submit and the Wi-Fi is not working. And before the lockdown, of course, it was the traffic. The traffic was a really big stressor for most people. But these stressors may not end. Your body doesn't know that your reason for being stressed is the assignment or the traffic. So it responds by releasing cortisol. Now, by tapping, we turn off that response. And it calms us down. It works on skeptics and believers alike. EFT enjoys a one-size-fits-all quality about it. Now, I want to go straight into the tapping so that I teach you the tapping points first. Now, this is the karate chop point, this side or this side. I just want you to do it with me. Just play along. Now, this is the side of the eye. You can do this side or this side because we have these meridians running down both sides of our body. So this is side of the eye. This is the eyebrow point. This side or this side. You can start here and do this, or you can do both. Now, this is side of the eye, just there at that bone, just following your eye, just there. Or this side, or both. So this is the eyebrow and this is side of the eye. This is under the eye. Follow that bone and just there you tap gently under the eye. This side or this side. Then we have the nose point, which is under the nose above the lips, just there. Then we have the chin point, which is below the lips and above the chin, just there in that depression. Then we have the collarbone, which is just below this bone here. Then we have under the arm. Now this is the funny one. You can tap here or you can tap here. And then we have the top of the head, when we all look like monkeys. Yes. So I'm going through the points again. This is the karate chop point, this side or this side. This is the eyebrow point. This is side of the eye. This is under the eye. This is the nose point. This is the chin point. This is the collarbone. This is under the arm and top of the head. Now you know what I said when I saw it first. I thought it was weird, but this is one round of tapping. So this is the acupressure part and then the modern psychology. So we tune into the issue that we want to tap on. So before we get into that, let's do a fun round of tapping. You can all say with me and tap with me, even though this is such a funny thing that I'm doing. I choose to try it anyway, even though it looks weird. I hope my neighbors don't see me. I'll give it a shot and see what happens. Even though it may have worked for other people, but I don't know how much it's going to work for me. I'll try anyway. This weird tapping thing. I'm just going along. Side of the eye, I'm just going along. Under the eye, Well, I'll tap and see what happens. Under the nose. This tapping. Chin. I'm so bored at home, I'll tap anyway. Collarbone. It looks funny, so at least I can laugh about it. Under the arm. I will try this tapping before I judge it. Top of the head. I am open to judging this tapping after the session. I will keep an open mind and see what happens. Now, take a deep breath in. And that is one round of tapping. We are tuning into something which right now, a lot of you are feeling that is funny. So we tapped into that and we spoke about that. So now the topic that we will work on first is anxiety and worry. Now, this is something that most of us are going through today. There is so much of anxiety. There is so much of worry. And we don't know what to do about it. Worry is like a long playing record. You know those LP records and the needle is stuck in one point and it just plays in a loop. It just goes on playing in a loop, the same thing over and over and over again. That's how the worry plays in our head. It just keeps playing in a loop without going away. And it just stays there. And we don't know how to get rid of it because it's just playing there, it's sitting there. And we are just trying to cope with it. And that's how it just stays there. So we think about something that is worrying us, that is causing us anxiety. And we give it a subjective unit of distress, SUD, or we call it the most pressing issue right now. We tune into that and we give it a number between 0 and 10, 0 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. So let's all tune into our body, see what is causing us anxiety and worry, and think of it and give it a number. Take a deep breath and see where in the body it is. And gently breathe into it. If you know the points, you can close your eyes and tap along, tuning into the issue. But if you don't know the points, you can watch me and tap along with me. Now for today's session, I will be using general language because there is a lot of people and each person's issue would be different. But if I was working with a client, I would use language which is specific to their issue, specific to them. So let's just tap very gently, breathe very gently, because let's not get stressed about the technique. Let's not get stressed about getting it right. I want you to de-stress, not get more stressed about learning something. EFT is a very forgiving technique and it will work anyway. I have 100% confidence in the technique. I can assure you it will work. Now, when we have a headache, we know that if we take a paracetamol, we will feel better. But what happens when we have sadness, or we are nervous, or we're stressed or anxious? We are not even able to feel it. We don't know what we are feeling. We're just confused because we don't know how to articulate our feelings. My friend Dr. Shilpa Gupta says that EFT is emotional first aid. And I think that's a beautiful way of seeing EFT. It really helps. Now let's start tapping. Even though I want you all to tap with me, even though I feel so much of anxiety all the time because of this uncertainty. There's uncertainty all around me. I choose to find a way to relax now. Even though I am so anxious all the time, it makes me feel unsafe. I acknowledge it. And I acknowledge it completely, and I choose to relax anyway. Even though I'm so anxious all the time, I choose to relax now. The eyebrow point. I am so anxious all the time. Side of the eye. All this anxiety in my body. Under the eye. I feel it very strongly. Under the nose. It's safe to feel this anxiety. Chin. It's safe to let it go. Collarbone. The more I relax, the more my body calms down. Under the arm, letting some of it go now. Top of the head. I have a choice to hold on to it or to let it go. Eyebrow point. I am choosing to let it go. Side of the eye. It's safe for me to let it go. Under the eye. I choose to feel safe now. Under the nose. Releasing all of this anxiety. Chin. I choose to stay calm. Collarbone. I feel relaxed and calm. Under the arm. I feel safe and supported. Top of the head. I am safe. I am supported. And I choose to stay calm. Take a deep breath in and slowly breathe out. And check the number now. For some of you, the number may have not come down. It means that you have to work on another aspect and release that first before this will come down. But we're working on a lot of issues today. And so at some point, it is possible that you would release that. And if anybody is yawning, don't hide your yawn. It's one time when I welcome people yawning in front of me when I'm doing a session, because it means your body is relaxing. It means your body is letting go. It means you're calming down and relaxing. So just yawn away and just enjoy it. Now, we have always looked forward to weekends, you know, being with family and being together. But over the past year, we have become weary of being thrown together. We are just stuck together. There's no lack of love or empathy, but there's this weariness because there's this nagging fear all the time. We fear for the safety of our loved ones. And that is there all the time. We're not releasing it. We are plugging into the fear which is all around us. When faced with any issue, the best way to deal with it is to accept it first, to say, yes, it's there. And when we accept it, and we know that this is inevitable, then without grumbling, and maybe with a smile, we are able to find a way to face it better or to release it. Now, another issue that a lot of clients call in for is loneliness. So I'd like to do another round of tapping now for loneliness. We are social beings. We like to be among people. But this past year, that has been very, very difficult. And we are slowly getting used to seeing people virtually. But this is not how it was meant to be. We like to be in the midst of people. We like to give a hug. There are so many relationships that are suffering. So all of this is really taking its toll on us. Now there is social loneliness. Most people are missing the social interaction. And that's not possible right now. Group activities are not possible in person. It's happening online, yes, but that's a different feel, and we are slowly getting used to it. There is also emotional loneliness. People are feeling lonely. Some people feel lonely even in company. And we've all had these times when we've been around people and we have felt lonely. There is also social isolation. When we feel sad and depressed because we feel very isolated. And that is what is causing a lot of depression these days, this social isolation. Because somewhere we have to be responsible and we have to stay at home. And yet we know it, but we're confused about the whole thing. Now, get a number. Think of where you are feeling this loneliness. Where in the body do you feel it? Get a number between 0 to 10. 0 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. And just breathe into it. And let's start tapping on the karate chop point. Even though I feel lonely, being cooped up at home, I completely accept how I feel. Karate chop. We tap 3 times on the karate chop. This is because it's called psychological reversal. You know, in a gadget, if you put the batteries the wrong way around, it will not work. Similarly, sometimes if we've not tuned into the issue, we sabotage the outcome. So we tap 3 times on this and tune into the issue. Even though I feel completely lonely and lost, I accept myself anyway. Even though I have begun to dread each day, I choose to stay calm and relaxed. The eyebrow point. I feel completely alone. Side of the eye. I feel stuck. Under the eye, I have this constant worry. Under the nose, I feel worried and stuck. Chin, so alone. Collarbone, all of this loneliness. Under the arm, sometimes food keeps me company. Top of the head, sometimes video games keep me company and allay my fears. Eyebrow point, and at other times, it is the TV that stops me from feeling lonely. Side of the eye, this loneliness sometimes gets very intense. Under the eye, it makes me restless. Under the nose, all of this loneliness. The chin, I feel it in every cell in my body. Collarbone, I am afraid of this loneliness. Under the arm, I feel so isolated. Top of the head, I just want it to go away. Back to the eyebrow. Do I really have any choice right now? side of the eye. A part of me knows that I need to stay at home to stay safe. Under the eye, a part of me knows that I'm doing the right thing by staying home. Under the nose, and yet a part of me is so confused. Chin. I am choosing to stay calm and release this anxiety. Collarbone. I can gently let it go. Under the arm. I can choose to relax and stay calm. Top of the head. I am enough as I am. I am safe and supported. Take a deep breath in. Just see where in the body that you felt it earlier. And see what the number is now. And as I said earlier, if the number has not come down, there is another aspect that needs to be worked on first, because the tapping that I'm doing is more general. The language is more general. And so sometimes if there's an issue that you need to work on, that would be more specific. And until we've cleared that, this may not clear. So now, all of you, you've had fun with the tapping. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're feeling calm. Yeah? Yes. So this is what EFT is. It is calm. I'll tell you a little more about EFT now. Yeah. So there are times, as I said earlier, EFT is a combination of acupressure and modern day psychology. So the tapping is the acupressure part, and when you tune into the issue, that is the modern day psychology. From pain relief to healing childhood traumas, to clearing limiting financial beliefs, to weight loss and body image issues, and for food cravings, for fears and phobias. EFT is proving to be a powerful, well-researched, easy to learn and easy to use technique. Tapping utilizes the body's energy meridian points by stimulating them with your fingertips. Literally tapping into your body's own energy and healing power. So your body is more powerful than you can imagine. Filled with life, energy, and a compelling ability to self-heal. With tapping, you can take control of that power and you can heal yourself. Isn't that wonderful? To have a tool that you can use on yourself whenever you want it. Yes, there are times when we have to reach out to others, but to have something with us is always really powerful. So when you're experiencing a negative emotional state, angry, upset, fearful, your brain goes on high alert. It prepares your body for the fight or flight response, as we said earlier. Now, this response evolved to mobilize the body from a wild animal, and our ancestors had it, and we have just inherited it. All the fighting and fleeing from the danger, yes. Now your adrenaline pumps, your muscles tense, your blood pressure, your heart rate, your blood sugar, all rise to give you the extra energy to meet the challenge. But stressors today are not the same as in earlier days. Then it was real threats to survival. Today, the stressors that induce the fight or flight response is activated by internal stressors. It's rarely a physical threat. Most of our fight or flight responses today are generated or triggered by a negative memory or a thought that has its roots in past trauma or childhood or conditioned childhood learnings. It's something that we have had, some beliefs that we have held on to and that we are holding on to. The stress response in the body takes the same form as when the tiger is chasing it. Now that was an external stressor, but this is an internal stressor. It's a negative memory. The adrenaline flows, the heart races, and we are creating the same kind of response. What tapping does with amazing efficiency is to halt this response and reprogram the brain and the body to act and react differently. The stress response begins in the brain, in the almond-shaped amygdala, as I had spoken earlier. It's one of the components of the limbic system or the midbrain. The limbic system is the source of all emotions. And long-term memory. It's where we store all our negative emotions. The amygdala says, here comes trouble. And something is threatening us. It signals the brain to mobilize the fight or flight response, and the body responds by releasing cortisol. Now, tapping on the endpoints of the meridians deactivates the amygdala's alarm. It sends a calming response to the body, and the amygdala recognizes that it is safe. So this is how EFT works. So, Sanchari, is there any other issue that you want to work? Because I was thinking of going into tapping on self-sabotage. Is that okay?
I think absolutely, Mridula. I think that is a very, very important part for us as well to understand, because with so many of our students, and I'm sure depression is a very, very, you can say, a basic emotion that in fact everybody feels today at some percentage. So, most of us do not even know about depression, but then we always feel that we are under depression, So I think this is going to be a very different topic. And I think it will be great to have you expose this to us.
Thank you. So did you know that childhood trauma can cause illness in you even 50 years later? It can show up as high blood pressure, diabetes, addictions, even cancer. Now, all the research has been going on, and so it's very important to let go and release the trauma that we have been accumulating. Now, self-sabotage is something that we don't recognize or even realize that we are doing to ourselves. We keep getting in our own way with certain behaviors. We allow an old memory of an issue to control our future outcome. Everybody does it, including me, and I have to stop myself when I recognize that this is what I'm doing. Now think about a future like your exams or your work and picture yourself as successful. Do you feel safe? Because if you're not feeling safe, it means that you're surely going to sabotage the outcome. Because our safety is very important to us. We want to survive. And so some sabotage behaviors are procrastination, always playing small, overeating or drinking, anything that stops us from feeling. What would happen if you were successful? Now, a student once told me that she would lose all her friends because they'd be jealous of her if she was successful. Another girl told me that she was tired of her extended family, uncles, aunts, everybody, all the time checking in on what she's doing. And this is something I'm sure a lot of you students will be able to identify with. Everybody else is worried about what you are doing. Another client told me that she did not even want to try because failure would be too humiliating. And so the best thing is just not to try it at all. Now, these are some things we do to ourselves without realizing it until we force ourselves to think about it. We have our limiting beliefs. Now, I had a limiting belief. A year ago, if you had told me to do a session online, I would have just said no, because I had a belief that it won't work. You know, I'm like those dynamo lights which are on the cycles. As you pedal, the light becomes brighter. It's like that, because I would like to stand up and I would like to pace in front of the audience. And as I walk, my mind is triggered and whatever I need to talk, it just flows. Now, I was so used to that sitting stationary in front of a camera and talking became my limiting belief. I had to do a lot of tapping on that to get out of that little thing. Though most students today would think it's nothing of it. But for me, it was my limiting belief. It was holding me back, and I had to do tapping on it. Yes, I've done tapping this morning too, on telling myself that I don't need to be perfect. It's okay to be as I am. So tapping is something that we can all turn to no matter what we are facing. Now, first we tap on what we call some people say, but that's negative. It's not negative. It's the truth about how we are feeling. I don't feel so good today. That's how you're feeling. So accept it. Because the first part of letting go of something is to accept that I'm feeling this way. Once we've accepted that I'm feeling this way, then we can think of finding a way to let it go. But until we accept that we are feeling this way, we're not going to be able to let it go because we are in denial. We are denying that this is what we are feeling. So now let's go back to the self-sabotage. There are I gave you the examples of self-sabotage. I want you to close your eyes and ask yourself the number of times you've sabotaged something. Give it a number between 0 and 10. 0 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. And see where in the body are you feeling it. Now let's start tapping. Even though it's not safe for me to be successful, I accept who I am, the way I am. Am I frozen? The computer seems, is it okay? Okay. Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. We're able to hear you well.
Even though, as I said, technology is still a little, yeah. Okay, because I couldn't see properly, yeah. Even though I'm afraid to succeed, it does not feel safe. I completely accept this about myself. Even though I like to play small, so no one will judge me. I accept the way I feel. The eyebrow point. I am afraid of failure. Side of the eye. So I prefer not to try. Under the eye. I don't want to feel like a failure. Under the nose. What if I fail? Chin. I don't want to fail. Collarbone. Because I cannot accept failure. Under the arm. I cannot stand other people's responses. Top of the head. It's not safe to succeed. Eyebrow. What will they think of me? Side of the eye. I choose to believe that I am enough the way I am. Under the eye. I don't need to be perfect. Under the nose. I'm doing the best I can. Chin. I am enough even if I am not perfect. Collarbone. I am enough exactly as I am. Under the arm. I have always been enough as I am. Top of the head. I am so ready to stand in my power and shine. It's safe to succeed. I am supported. Now, I want you to take a deep breath in and see what that number is at now. Has the number come down? Or is the number the same? Now, for all those whose number is the same, you can go back to this tapping and do it anytime. Or if you feel that there is a specific issue which is personal to you, you'll need to work on that with specific words. And then after we've released that issue, we can come back to this and then we can tap on this again. Now, another big one for today would be stress and anxiety. In fact, that's what Sanchari had told me about first. The stress that the students are going through. So much of stress. And I mean, it's amazing how you've done all your classes online. Really amazing to the faculty and to the students that you've been. I was told that you're even doing your practicals online, which is really awesome. So you should be really happy that you're able to manage this. Hats off to the faculty and the students. Pat yourself for that. Awesome. But let's think, what is stress? Stress, again, is a psychological state that sends us into fight or flight situation. Our bodies are ready to take it on or to flee, which we've already discussed. A stress is a process, a relationship between you and the environment. When we have perceptions of uncertainty, lack of control, then we engage in negative conversations in our head. And it leads to acute stress. And that is when the hormone cortisol is released. And cortisol, as I said earlier, sends you into, it really sends you into a tizzy. Now, some emotional symptoms of stress are feeling frustrated, feeling irritable, feeling this constant worry, lack of focus. Now, for students, this is a big one, the lack of focus. Because when I work with students, that's what they tell me. But the physical sensations are headaches, back pain, stomach upset, palpitations. These are some of the physical ones. Let's do some tapping on this. Once again, go into the body. See where are you feeling this stress? What's the issue about? Where in the body are you feeling it? And give it a number from 0 and 10. 0 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. Breathe into it and let's start tapping. By now, all of you know the tapping points. So I invite you to close your eyes, think of the stress, think of it in your body and tap, because that way you're tuning into it completely and you'll be able to release it much sooner. So even though on the karate chop, I'll do this hand now so that all the People who are using their left hand feel comfortable. Even though being calm seems impossible right now, I choose to find a way to relax. Even though I'm feeling so stressed, I choose to accept the way I feel. Even though being calm is very hard for me right now, I choose to somehow find a way to relax. The eyebrow point, all the stress and anxiety. So those who don't want to tap, you can even just hold the points and breathe into it. So just hold and breathe. All the stress and anxiety, side of the eye. I'm really feeling stressed. Under the eye. Hold it gently, yes. I'm feeling completely overwhelmed. Under the nose. I feel it in my head. Chin. I feel it in my chest. Collarbone. I feel it in my stomach. Under the arm. All of the stress in my body. Top of the head. I'm feeling so tense. Eyebrow point. I find it so hard to relax. Side of the eye. I really need to stay focused. Under the eye. It's so hard for me to stay focused. Under the nose. This stress is really holding me back. Chin. I am irritated and restless. Collarbone. I am constantly worried as I have so much to do. Under the arm. I wish I could be more focused. Top of the head. I am open to finding a way to be more focused. Eyebrow point. What if I could let some of it go? Side of the eye. I wonder what it would feel like. Under the eye. I love feeling calm and relaxed. Under the nose. I think I can allow some of it to go. Under the nose. I might miss being stressed. Collarbone. This stress has become a part of me today. Under the arm. I wonder if I will work so hard if I let the stress go. Top of the head. A little bit of stress is good, like salt in food. Eyebrow point. It has to be just the right amount, not too much, not too less. Side of the eye. Releasing some of this stress and allowing peace to flow in. Under the eye. Feeling this peace in my chest. Under the nose. Feeling this peace in my stomach. And the chin. Letting go of the stress. Collarbone. I choose to feel calm and peaceful. Under the arm. I choose to feel calm and relaxed right now. Top of the head. This is the new me, calm, peaceful, and relaxed. And I can get a lot more done this way. Breathe in, take a deep breath in, and just see how you're feeling. Just see if that number has come down. And see if you're feeling relaxed. All those who have been yawning, you can be sure that you are relaxed right now. You know, if everything was perfect for you, it may not be perfect for somebody else. Because that person wants something else. We each want different things. So your life, the way it is, gives you the chance to stay where you are or to grow and face the challenges. And I think all of you today are facing these challenges really well. You've taken your entire coursework online and you are facing the challenges head on. So just look at the bright side and see what you've done. You've done a lot for yourself. Now, if there's one thing I could tell you to remember all the time when you're stressed, do the tapping. But I'm going to teach you something called trauma tapping. Now, just this part, when you are extremely worried, just tap here, gently tap here. Before you deal with the situation, just tap here, because it will calm you down immediately. Or if you're completely overwhelmed, there's also something called the triple calmer, which is under the eye, collarbone, and under the arm. So you just keep tapping under the eye, collarbone, and under the arm. You know, in olden days, we've been doing some of this without realizing. When we hear something, we do this. We are actually holding on to this point. Or sometimes when we are worried, we sit this way. We are actually holding on to a lot of these points. And sitting this way helps us, or we sit this way, and it helps us to become calm. So we've been doing this without knowing why we are doing it. But we do a lot of things to calm ourselves. The body knows what it needs to do at each time to help us calm. And we do these things. But now we are doing it with the knowledge. We're doing it knowing that it's going to help us. And this is what it's doing. So this is a big one. I teach everybody, especially students before their exams. I just say, just do that. Yeah. You know, sometimes, especially I've been working with a lot of school kids before the lockdown and before their board exams. So what happens is when you get your paper, you have studied really hard. But when you get your paper, you are so anxious. And then you just feel that you've gone into a brain fog. You can't remember anything. So I said, just tap on this. Because when you are that anxious, the blood flows away from your, forehead into your arms and legs. That's why your arms and legs, hands and feet become cold. It flows away from the forebrain. And that's what's happening. So just tap, just make yourself calm, and then attempt the paper instead of just going into this freeze mode and getting really overwhelmed. So is there anything else, any topic that you would want to work on now?
All right. So Mridula, since we're almost nearing the time and, we are really looking forward to have plenty sessions, just like myself and of course, Abdullah and, three of us have spoken about. I'm sure in the next coming few weeks, we will be able to particularly have, those kind of sessions by you, which is so nice of you to in fact offer to us already. Before we go ahead and of course, have the session ending, I have two questions by our students who have in fact put across in the chat box. I would like to in fact, just let you know about these questions one by one. Mridula, if you can address them. So one would be by our student Tenzin, who says, ma'am, how can a person stay calm at all time? If you could share some tips with us.
Yes. Now, stay calm at all times. You have to keep taking deep breaths. That is one way, because when we get stressed, our breathing becomes very erratic and we're breathing very fast. So tell yourself, start taking deep breaths. There is also another technique called Jinshin Jitsu, which is a Japanese way of healing. Now you just hold your finger. This is for worry. This finger. Yeah, you hold it very gently until you can feel your heartbeat in your other hand, like that. You will feel it. Now, this finger is for worry. This is for fear. This is for anger. That's why I think they do that, the finger. That is for anger. That is for sadness. And that is for when you're overwhelmed and trying too hard. So just when you're studying, try to sit this way, because that would help you. Or for me, we each have a different point that we feel comfortable tapping on. For me, it's my collarbone. So even when I am reading an email, I will just be sitting like this. I even do this when I'm watching some scary movie, so that I'm calm. Another one is here. We have a meridian here, so you can just do that. So, Sensin, I hope I've answered your question. Just keep doing this, or just keep doing this. Some people like this point, but some people like this point. Or just do the finger holds, while you're studying, so that you are calm when you're studying. Just keep changing the fingers, this hand or this hand. Just sit that way. Yeah. Yeah. And just gently. Is that easy enough? Yes. Any other question? You said yeah.
Yes. In fact, Mridula, there are quite a few questions coming, and I think, we do are short on time today. I'm going to be taking just one question right now. But then, Mridula, any particular forum where, students can actually reach you out and write to you? It will be wonderful to, yes.
I will give you my email ID, and I will respond to each and every single person's email. It may take time, but I will respond. So I will send you my email ID. Let them write to me and I will respond.
That will be wonderful, Mridula. Yes. So I'll be taking the last question of the hour before I, in fact, have my operations director and Delhi director, Mr. Abdullah Ahmed, come over and, of course, speak a few words. It's very, very important for me to hear from him about this session today. So this final question from our student from Hyderabad would be, good afternoon, ma'am. As we prepare for stage presentation in front of the panel, after going with a lot of preparation, due to the stress or some sort of tension, due to that, I might blank out. This is exactly what you were talking about, Mridula, the brain fog. Can you share some tips which essentially would be helping him out? Yes.
Yes, just tap this. This is the point that you need to tap before going on stage and doing your presentation. Yeah? Because as I said, when you are extremely stressed, blood flows away from your forebrain into your hands and feet, and you get cold feet. That's why people get cold feet. Yeah, so when you do this, you just tap this. And I can assure you, if it wasn't for tapping, I would not even be sitting here right now talking to you, because I would have been that nervous. Yeah, for me, technology was always a challenge. And I used to say, I am technologically challenged. And before I close, I must say a big thank you to all of you and to my husband, who's helped me with all the technology, because without his help, I wouldn't have been able to do this.
A huge thank you to you, and of course to Sir for all the incredible session that you've actually had today with us, Mridula. So happy to have you here, and I'm certain that all of us here, all my colleagues, myself and all our students have had a very, very calming experience. And we will never forget the emotional first aid that you have taught us today. I think it's going to be going a long way with each one of us, Mridula. So thank you so much. And now I would love to have Mr. Abdullah Ahmed, our very, very enduring director from Delhi campus, our operations director, to come and talk a few words about the session. Over to you, Abdullah. You are muted, Abdullah.
Thank you, Sanchari. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Nair. It was lovely to attend your session, and I was following it in between by tapping. And I've learned a couple of things to tap today, and it's added. See, you never stop learning. I think what's important is that even today I've learned something new. To be honest, I was not aware about it. And today I've learned something new, which I will definitely add on to the session that I do on positivity and motivation. And I keep talking to students. I think you're very right. It's very important to do these sessions. We'll continue for doing this session and we'll seek your help. This was definitely an eye-opener. This is my first session that I've attended ever in my life, which tells me about tapping. I was not aware about what tapping was. Pardon me for my ignorance, but I was, to be honest, thinking till when we spoke yesterday, I was wondering what tapping is all about. What I could hear tapping is the salsa dance that I know about. And that exactly I was thinking, but I knew that it will not be salsa dance. It will be something to do with calming down. And so I wanted to be a part of it. I think it was very impressive. Thank you. And I hope our students understand the importance of these therapies that you do and follow up in order to keep you calm, keep you unstressed, because these are times which are difficult, not only for us, but for everybody in the world. So it's very important to use this to be positive, to be with positive people, to sit with positive people, and of course, use these therapies as an add-on to make sure that we're moving up. Positivity is the only thing right now that will take us across. And I always say this, you know, all movies that we've seen are talk about positivity.
Yes.
If you talk about Titanic, you talk about Armageddon, you talk about any movie, Jurassic Park, the people got saved in those movies because they were positive. Had they got negative, they would not have got saved.
Yes.
The reason the people get saved and the reason these movies, you know, put these thoughts and you know, capture it in a movie is because they also want to convey that life is all about positivity. And I think today what we've learned, to all my students who've logged in today, what we have learned are these therapies that we don't normally come across. Thank you, Ms. Nair, for telling us these therapies. We've added this in our knowledge base today about these tapping points. While I was tapping my head, I was wondering that I am living with my head for the last so many 40 plus years, 4 decades now. I've never tapped my head. So now today, after 40 years, I realized that tapping my head will help me calm down as well. And thank you for this session. And we all learned. So thank you so much. I'll request if you could put your email ID in the chat box. The students will pick it up. And, you know, if you have any questions in reference to students, if you have any questions.
In fact, for all the students and all our team members, you can also please visit this website because this was so interesting. I myself went through the website, you know, before the session happened today. And I think there's incredible things which is in fact a part of this entire, you know, organization that you run yourself. And
Yeah.
I'm sure we have so much to learn. I mean, you know, we've had a wonderful, wonderful time today.
Thank you.
And emotionally, we are extremely happy. I'm sure all of us, just like Abdullah said, we are now, of course, you know, having a very, very good calming effect on ourselves before the day progresses. And I'm certain all our team members, as rightly said, Abdullah, all our team members, everybody, and definitely our students, their parents who are in fact at home at this time of distress, this would be an amazing calming experience for each one of us, emotionally, mentally, professionally, personally.
Reference to, you know, being positive, how to handle stress, you can send an email to Ms. Nair, who is an expert in this field and has been doing this for decades. She is the best person to deal and to speak to during times of stress. So she will be putting up her email ID into the chat box, and it's wonderful to tap my head and to tap my eye under the eyes and under the chin. That's amazing. I mean, it's superb. So thank you. Thank you, Sanchari, for organizing this. And thank you. We will do more sessions in discussion with Ms. Nair, possibly Ms. Nair, if we could do some more sessions in the coming weeks, maybe one session every 15 days for the next 2-3 months or 1-2 months. It'll be super.
Yeah. I've put my email ID there. Mridula at RedesignedThinking.com.
Students, thank you so much for joining in, and we are really happy that you were here. And we are very sure that you've been able to benefit yourself through this. And thank you so much, Mridula, for accepting and yourself coming forward to us and letting us know that you will be doing the seva of going ahead and helping our students and our team members with more sessions in the coming. And thank you so much, Abdullah, for going ahead and having this entire opportunity given to us. I think it was incredible today for having this session and having Mridula around with us.